Hey, it's March Madness. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to be upset. Brackets have to be filled out. It's that time of the year. Happy March Madness, everyone. We are on the eve of March Madness, of bracket season, and it's time to get right into it, right? Sunday, I had the reaction show, right? You can go tune in regards to the brackets, what that looks like, my thoughts, right? On today's show, we're filling out my bracket. We're filling out the winning bracket. Now, I will give you a disclaimer. At some point during the show, there may be a quick 2-minute intermission, as I may have to handle some business, right? So it may be a quick 2-minute intermission, but we will be back, right? On today's show, as I mentioned, we are filling out Athletes Farm bracket for March Madness, right? College Sports Crew, we're doing a pool, right? So all these guys are gonna be able to see if they're tapping into the show, right? So without further ado, let's kind of dive into it. Let's dive into teams we're excited about. Let's dive into some potential upsets that are in the making, some potential upsets that are brewing. Let's talk college basketball when it's a time of the year where it has everyone's attention, right? No one's worried about baseball just yet. College football hasn't even gotten here yet. Hashtag 25 Saturday, still college football. And no one really cares about the NBA as of right now, right? So without further ado, let's dive into an Athletes Farm podcast. We are going to pull the bracket up, and we are going to make picks. I'm going to give you some thoughts on some games. Some games we might fly through, right? Not all games need the attention, right? But I'm going to give you some updates in regards to where I stand with picking this bracket. So let's get this bracket up and get this baby rolling. All right. Right here. Cool. All right. So as I talked about on the Sunday show, the East is brutal. I think the East is probably one of the hardest brackets, right? So off the bat, we might have some trouble. So let's go right into it. Duke, listen, let's not waste any time here. Duke is going to beat Siena. They're probably one of the best teams in the conference. All right. Ohio State, TCU, right? These 8-9 matchups, you really don't kind of know where to lean. It's kind of a toss-up 50-50, right? So I'm gonna go with Ohio State. All right, I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think their potential is Sweet 16. No, they're not. They're ceiling is Sweet 16, right? Not the potential. They're still in Sweet 16, right? St. John's. This is a no-brainer for me. I think St. John's is probably a top 2 team in this bracket for the East. Kansas. What Kansas team are we getting? I think they'll make it out the first, but I do think it does get a little interesting when they get to the next round. Louisville, South Florida. Now listen, this is going to be the first one, right? A lot of people are high on South Florida, right? Because this is a team that plays very strategic, right? They know how to attack their opponent, right? And a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, have South Florida over Louisville like it's easy, right? So Louisville has a good guard in Mikael Brown Jr., right? He'll be back in the mix for the Louisville team, right? So is South Florida really about that action, right? Are we about to hold on, let me get the graphic ready. Let me see, are we about to make the graphic on the first in the East bracket, right? It's an upset alert. Hey, talk to me. Is this an upset alert? Listen, I may go South Florida. I may buy the hype. I may go South Florida over Louisville, right? I'm going to do it, right? Next, Michigan State, I think they win. UCLA, low-key is a hot team. Low-key is a hot team. They'll go past UCF, and then we got UConn, right? Now, where does it go from here, right? This is where, when we start getting towards the Sweet 16 time frame, that's where brackets start getting a little tricky. So I'll start at the top, right? I think Ohio State. I think Duke is the better team in this matchup. I like St. John's. Listen, and I don't think it's even close. I think St. John's is the better team. I think they play better defense. I think their defensive pressure is going to give a team like Kansas fits. Also, we don't even know if Kansas is going to be at their full potential, right? Michigan State, South Florida. You know what? Michigan State is a team that I've had a little bit too much invested in. Do they let me down? Do I believe in South Florida that much? Right? I don't think so. I'm rocking with Izzo for that game. But this is the first one. Oh man, she's gonna She's not gonna like me for this one. She ain't gonna like me for this one, right? Bring up the graphic. Upset alert. That's right. I'm gonna pick UCLA over UConn. I'm sorry, Mrs. College Football Talk. UConn just really hasn't finished the season as strong as I personally would like, right? And we're gonna be seeing UCLA's a hot team this time of year. You really gotta be playing your best ball. I think one of those teams is clearly. So I'm gonna go with UCLA over Michigan State. I'll be waiting for that comment here shortly. Now, this game, Duke versus St. John's, right? And if you're in the chat, drop a comment. Let me know what we all think here. All right, talk to me. We're talking some bracket talk right now. So if you're Duke or St. John's, Duke is one of those teams that they just have a history of letting you down, right, at the wrong time, right? St. John's is a team that can be scary, right? They proved it last year as far as they got in the tournament under Pitino, right? I'm gonna go with the upset, right? Get the graphic ready. Listen, the East is gonna be brutal, but get the graphic ready. I'm rocking with St. John's to beat Duke, right? I'm not confident in it, but I'm gonna rock with it. I'm gonna rock with St. John's to beat Duke. Michigan State, UCLA. I think we get Michigan. I think we get a Michigan State versus St. John's Elite Eight, right? So that's what my East looks like. That's what my East looks like. Let's head over to the West. But before I do that, let's drop in the comments and see what we're talking about here. What are we talking about? Oh man. My man Chris, what did Mrs. Kostrapalk tell us? She said, hell, she's mad at me because I had him losing in the Elite Eight. Had me sleeping on dang. We got couch action. Couch action because UConn, man. Listen, they just haven't been playing good ball, right? I don't know if I could trust UConn, right? I wanted to. I was high on them, right? But because of how they played over the past or towards the end of the season, I don't know. Just I don't have a good feeling about that. So, I'm gonna rock with UCLA to get the upset over UConn. All right. Let's head over to the West. What we got? Arizona, the team and the fan base that might hate me the most in this bracket, right? You get a win versus Long Island. All right. Next one, Villanova versus Utah State. I don't know much about either team. I know Villanova in the past, has really been a team of destiny, right? You think about Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo. Like, this is a team that, or this is a school that has history when it comes to that, all right? So we'll see what that's going to look like. I'm not ready to go with the upset. Actually, it's not really upset. It's an 8-9 matchup. I'll rock with Villanova. And I'll be blunt. I'll rock with Villanova because of the logo. All right. Wisconsin High Point. Listen, I don't know what the over-under is, but take the over. I'm telling you, this is going to be a high-scoring, fast-paced game, right? And Wisconsin better look out because they could be in trouble in this game, right? If you get caught sleeping on High Point, right? If you get caught sleeping on High Point, is it enough to bring up the graphic, though? Is it enough to bring up the graphic? You know what? I'm going to bring it up anyway, right? I'm going to bring it up anyway. Is this a potential upset alert in the making that's going to affect the bracket? This is the best bracket that's going to be in town, right? When I look, check my notes, High Point, even though they're a 12 seed, and they have, a 20% chance of winning, this is a team that, they shoot the lights out the gym. They shoot the lights out, Jim. And don't get me wrong, Wisconsin can score too, right? Wisconsin, the thing I like about the tournament this time of year is I like a team that has veteran guards or good guards, right? So John Blackwell, Nick Boyd at Wisconsin, they're gonna have to have the firepower. If one of those guys are off, right? If one of those guys are off, it's gonna get tricky. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to do the upset, and this may come back to bite me. I want to do the upset. It may come back to bite me. But you know what? I'm going to stick with Wisconsin to not sneak through, right? But to make it past High Point, right? But I could see that game going either way. I'm talking about High Point like they're fucking Duke. I could see High Point pulling that off. All right. Let's head over to the next game. What we got? Arkansas versus Hawaii. I'm going to go with my guy Pops for Arkansas, right? I think Arkansas takes care of Hawaii. Now, Hawaii is another team that could be a sleeper, right? I don't know if I'm ready to go with the upset meter on this one, but I'm going to pick Arkansas for this one. BYU, Texas. Listen, I'm just going to call it as I see it. I'm going with Texas, right? I'm going with Texas in this matchup because BYU is another team that really has let me down, right? Let me down. And when I think about Texas, you know what? I'm starting to think about how Texas is looking. This is a team that's kind of been injured as of late, right? We're kind of limping into the tournament. I don't know. I might go chalk. This might be a sucker move. I might go chalk and go with BYU. Nah, I'm gonna stick with Texas. Right? Let's throw the graphic up. I'm gonna stick with Texas, even though they're injured, even though they're banged up. AJ DeBonsa, this is gonna be his first big time tournament. I'm gonna stick with Texas to take it over BYU. Right? Gonzaga over Kennesaw State. Right? I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. They're playing close to Washington. It's almost gonna be a home game for Gonzaga. Miami, Missouri. I don't know what to think of this game. All right. I don't know what to think of this game. You know what? Let's pull it out. Let's pull out the upset meter for this one. Miami, Missouri. I'm going to go with Missouri to beat Miami. Listen, I'm picking all these upsets. Some of them I'm going to even out somehow. Right? And then I'll take Purdue over Queens. Queens first time in the tournament. Kudos to them. You know, they're going to be one and done. All right. And then I'm going to go Purdue over Missouri. I think Purdue's playing good ball right now. I'll go Kansas over Texas. I think the injuries finally catch up to Texas, right? I think I'm going to rock with Arkansas. I know it's Arkansas over Wisconsin, right? And then Arizona, I'll get you to the Sweet 16. But this is where you lose me, right? Because until you prove to me you can make it past this point, right? I'm going Arkansas. Right? And I'll go with Purdue. I don't really like Purdue, but I'll give them their dues. I'll go with the Big Ten champs, right? Beating Michigan, that's a good win. All right. So the West, my Elite Eight, right? Arkansas, Duke, make it to the Elite Eight out of the West. Let's scroll on down to the Midwest. This is another brutal conference, right? And now we're getting into some of my colleagues' territory here at College Sports Crew, right? Michigan over Howard. That's gonna take its place. Do I go Georgia over St. Louis? $1 million question. Maybe something I've been contemplating all day, right? For my guy, Chris, right? Georgia, they got my former coach, Mike White, over St. Louis. I'm going to rock with St. Louis. You know I can't rock with no dogs. St. Louis over Georgia, and that's an emotional and a personal pick, right? Texas Tech over Akron. Akron has a good guard, but I don't know how strong Akron's team is to compete with Texas Tech here, right? So it's not an upset alert. I know I was happy and I was high on Akron, right, when the brackets drop, right? But I think Texas Tech will pull this off. I think Texas Tech will get the win here. Alabama, Hofstra. Let's pull out the graphic. It's time for the graphic. It's time to pull out the graphic, right? That's right. Alabama is on upset alert. And everything that's been going on in Alabama, you would think it would be a distraction point, right? Hofstra Pride, right? This is a team that really fits well with Alabama, right? And this is another team I was high on Sunday and saying, don't sleep on Hofstra. But you know what? I think this is a type of game where with everything going on at Alabama and the scandal and everything that's going on, this is an opportunity for them to rally the troops, right? And really come together. As much as I liked Hofstra on Sunday, I'm going to go with Bama over Hofstra. All right. Let's go to the chat. What we got in the chat? All right. My guy, Chris. I'd be damn. You know it, Chris. You know it, man. Listen, those 8-9 matchups are toss-ups. So you know what? We can't bleed that. We can't bleed that red and black. All right. Tennessee over Miami, Ohio, or SMU. And these two teams are playing tonight. Listen, Miami, Ohio is a tricky team. If they get past SMU, I like them versus Tennessee. I'm going to go with Miami, Ohio, right? This is hard because I don't know if it's going to be Miami, Ohio, or SMU. But to be honest, this is another personal decision. I just don't like Tennessee, right? So you guys could kick rocks. Virginia over Wichita State. I actually like Virginia a lot in the Midwest. I am picking this upset, though. Yes, sir. Get the graphic out. I am picking this upset. I think Santa Clara BTA on Kentucky, right? I think Kentucky's a round one exit. a round one exit, right? As I mentioned before, Santa Clara got some bigs that can compete with Big Blue Nation, right? So, and also Wildcats, similar to UConn, haven't really looked good down the stretch, right? Haven't really looked good down the stretch. So, obviously they're gonna get time off, but then again, what type of Kentucky team are you gonna get when it comes to love? Because it's not your John Calipari's Kentucky team, right? And even though they had their run and they had their share of, obviously first round guys, it's a very new Kentucky team, not under the coach. I get that, but at the same time, I think there's a mismatch, right? I think Santa Clara's bigs are going to be the key for this game, right? And I think they'll be in position to take care of business over the Wildcats, right? Let me pull up some notes I got here. Allen Graves, right? Averaging 11.6 points per game. 11.6 points per game. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Right? Where did I go to school? Right? Star freshman for them. How does he perform on the highest stage? Right? Has performed on the highest stage. But what I also like about Santa Clara is that they shoot 41% from three. Right? 41% from three. Finished 26-8. Right? I think they get past Kentucky. Right? Iowa over Tennessee State. Got a lot going on in my head right now. Iowa over Tennessee State, right? I'm picking that win. Now, we got Iowa State went over Santa Clara. I got Virginia over whoever, right? And then this one's a toss-up because I got Texas Tech with a team that's down their best player, Alabama, and everything they got going on. Texas Tech pulls this one off. Michigan beats St. Louis, right? I like Michigan over Texas Tech. I like Virginia over Iowa State, right? Virginia's a team that not only can play defense, but a team that can score as well, too. So I like them in that matchups. Let's head over to my side of the bracket, right? And listen, when I bring out the orange and blue, we talking Florida. Right? So let's get right into it. Let's take the graphic off because this ain't no upset alert here, right? Florida takes care of Prairie View A&M, right? Iowa, Clemson. I like Clemson in that matchup, right? Versus Iowa. Vanderbilt, McNeese. I want Vanderbilt. All right. I'm going to get the graphic out. I don't think Nebraska gets out the first round, right? I'm calling upset here. I'm calling upset alert here, right? Troy over Nebraska. Even just saying that sounds funny, right? And might as well leave the graphic up. VCU versus North Carolina. North Carolina down their key player, right? And Caleb Wilson, right? Their star freshman, right? I think I said his name, right? Right? Let me bring it up here. I want to make sure I get that right real quick. Caleb Wilson, yep. Broken thumb, not playing. I like VCU. Illinois over Penn. Illinois, if this is a team that can finally come together, I think they can make a run. I'm going with Illinois in this one. Texas A&M over St. Mary's. Texas A&M back into tournament play. They get a win over St. Mary's, and I like Houston over Idaho, right? Now, let's go Houston over Texas A&M here. I like Illinois, right? And then Vanderbilt and my Gators. We want the smoke. Right? And make sure the graphics not up for this one. Make sure I'm very clear here, right? Florida gets the revenge. Versus Vanderbilt. I'm picking Illinois over Houston now, right? I like the length of Illinois. I like how they could score, right? I like their freshmen better than Calvin Sampson and Houston's freshman team. I like Illinois, right, to beat Houston. All right. Now I'm in the Elite Eight. I'm rocking with St. John's. St. John's over Michigan State. I like Calipari. I like Calipari over Purdue, right? Making it to the Final Four in their freshmen, right? I like Virginia over Michigan. And I'm rocking with the Gators, right? Right? And then Florida, right? Florida to the Natty. Who we're going to play? You know what? Arkansas. Florida, Arkansas national championship, SEC type national championship, and I'm rocking with the orange and blue to take the dub. It's what's only right. Like, these are the picks that you need to know to make your perfect bracket, right? And if you're here, I see a couple people in the chat. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. What teams are you going to be surprised about? What games are you looking forward to? Who's a sleeper, right? Drop a comment now or when the video ends, right? But listen, for today's episode, I wanted to break down this bracket. I wanted to talk to you guys about the bracket, right? I think there are a lot of tricky scenarios that can happen in this tournament. And I've already said it. This March Madness is going to be nuts. You got to think outside the box. Even looking at the games we just got, right? Texas barely beats North Carolina State, and they win 68-66. Howard beats UMBC by 3, right? And we got Prairie View, who just got a good win versus Lehigh, but Miami, Ohio, and SMU, they're about to play here shortly. Listen, this tournament is going to be exciting, right? And I'm excited to see what these matchups are going to look like. But you know I'm rocking with the Gators, right? Right? That may be the most biased opinion, but every other opinion I gave on the games is highly factual, right? It's highly factual. What we got? Okay, we see what this guy. Nah, I don't love Pops more than you. Or maybe I do love Pops more than you, Chris. Nah, I love Chris more than Pops. I love College Sports Crew. Chris is my guy. But hey, man, listen, coaching. Right, I like Calipari. I like the freshman that they got. If I'm being, real non-biased about it, right? I think they can match up with Arizona, Georgia. Listen, you said it yourself. They can't play defense. Georgia can't play defense. How are you supposed to win a championship if you can't play defense? You should know that from Kirby Smart. It's gonna be interesting to see. For sure, and I'm excited. So listen. Happy March Madness Eve tomorrow. Listen, 12:10. Listen, go on lunch, right? Get that phone out. Go to the spot. Go get some tacos. Watch college basketball. Watch how this all pans out. If you bet 401k, get it ready, right? Mortgage, get it ready. Let's make some money. We'll be reacting to maybe some games that come down the stretch, right? And we'll see because we're gonna get some madness, but. Go Gators. Had to end it with that, right? Athletes Forum Podcast, College Sports Crew. Listen, if you're still here, subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. We're here every Wednesday, right? No, we talk ball tomorrow. Okay, let me get that out there. No, we talk ball tomorrow. Next week, we got Chase and Omaha coming up on Wednesdays. We got Veterans Voice Sports podcast on Mondays. We talk ball. We'll be back on Thursday. College Sports Crew.